Now at aid safe and sound after an intense search, rescuers find a missing jet skier. Plus, the entertainment industry mourning the tragic loss of Hayden Panettiere tonight. Alex?
Temperatures are heating up across Southern California. We've got 80s, 90s, and triple digits over the next few days. But what about the weekend ahead? Your forecast is coming up. Mike.
Hey, Alex, here at the desk, we've got new information on this airport takedown. It happened in John Wayne on Friday, and tonight we're hearing from ICE. The follow-up right now on CBSLA at 8 on KCAL 9.
This is CBSLA at 8.
The desperate search to find a missing jet skier comes to a thrilling end. Welcome to CBSLA at 8 on KCAL 9. I'm Juan Fernandez. The man has been found alive. This new video just into our newsroom tonight, take a look, shows the moments that jet skier was pulled to safety by the Coast Guard about 3 miles south of Seal Beach Pier this afternoon. As CBSLA's Jeff Nguyen tells us, a second missing jet skier had already been found alive.
The Coast Guard says the jet skiers had launched from this very popular site known as Rainbow Harbor last night before they fell into the water. Earlier, rescuers said they were able to complete their mission successfully. The Long Beach Fire Department sharing the highlight of a miraculous rescue on social media. 53-year-old Paul Anthony Carbolito Jr. taken off a Coast Guard helicopter after he was found alive, 16 hours after he fell off a jet ski Sunday night. The Coast Guard says he was found in the water about 3 miles from the Seal Beach Pier. Rescuers say he had been suffering from hypothermia. Michael Woodward and Melissa Jones rode their jet ski from Long Beach to Catalina on Sunday. Monday morning, Jones's mother called her after learning about a couple falling off their jet skis.
She just wanted to make sure that we weren't the missing couple, and so that was very concerning for her until she got in touch with us.
It's unclear why the pair fell off their jet skis, but experienced riders like Woodward say you have to be careful around large watercraft.
You want to make sure that that you're not getting trapped in their wake, you're not in the way of them where you can get hit or injured or something like that.
Jones is a nurse and she takes safety measures seriously. She says the rescuers deserve a lot of credit for finding Carbolito, and she's amazed he's alive.
The wake gets pretty strong, and the water gets cold, and the wind chill factor plays into that.
The Coast Guard says when Carbolito was found in the water, he was wearing his life vest, he was conscious, and he was able to speak to rescuers. Reporting in Long Beach, Jeff Nguyen, CBSLA.
Hollywood and fans mourning the death of Nashville star Hayden Panettiere tonight. Police in Greenville, South Carolina say the actress was found unresponsive at an apartment on Sunday afternoon. Detectives say a preliminary investigation found no signs of foul play or suspicious circumstances. Panettiere is best known for playing Claire Bennett in Heroes and country star Juliet Barnes in Nashville. She would have turned 37 on Friday. An update tonight on an ICE arrest in Orange County. A man taken into custody after getting off a flight at John Wayne Airport. CBSLA assignment editor Mike Rogers at the desk. And Mike, you told us last week you were waiting to hear back from ICE, and tonight you finally have.
Yeah, that's right, Juan. They say they took this man into custody and had to tase him because they claim he was resisting arrest. I want to show you some of the video here. We showed this to you last week, where you see what was described to us as their adult children trying to speak with the ICE agent. Now, we also heard back from the person who recorded this video, who says they actually started recording because they thought a kidnapping was happening because nobody had any badges visible or any identification that they were ICE agents. But today, ICE got back to us finally and said that he actively resisted arrest and required law enforcement to use necessary force to gain control of him. Now, they say he entered the country legally on December 18th, 2023 on a visa. That visa expired in June 2024, they say, and say he overstayed his visa here in the United States. The scene turned chaotic here when another person tried to intervene. You see the ICE agent pointing a taser at her before they're ultimately able to take the man who's been identified as Martin Humberto Moscay into custody. Now, they say he remains in ICE custody tonight, Juan. We did not see, though, as I pointed out here in this email, anything about any kind of criminal history that we often see or anything other than the fact that they say he overstayed his visa. In the statement, Juan, they also encouraged people who are here on overstayed visas or in similar situations to self-deport.
Okay, Mike, thanks for that. We have another update tonight on the baby with the rare heart defect at the center of a surrogacy controversy. A lawyer for the family says the baby, whom they've named Rumi, had his first surgery this morning. They say he's now recovering with mom and dad, but remains in critical condition. Several months before Rumi was born, his parents learned about the defect and asked their surrogate to get an abortion. She refused and went to Texas to give birth. Her lawyers say she will continue to fight for custody of Rumi. Nearly 94% of the food waste left at an unburned section of the warehouse in Boyle Heights has been removed. Even so, another community rally was held late this afternoon. Residents remain outraged over the pace of the cleanup, the insects and the rodent infestation, and of course the smell. Many want the burned Lineage warehouse closed for good. There are growing concerns about how students will cope as they return to school.
We don't have any lunch recess. We usually go on inclement weather here.
The rats, reached all the way like 3-4 blocks down, and they're eating the electric cables.
As for that smell we've been talking about, it tends to get worse late at night, but all the food waste at the most severely burned part of the location, we are told, is now gone. All right, to next weather now, with heat making a comeback in Southern California this week. Right, Alex?
You know what? We've got heat advisories going into effect, Juan. As we go into tomorrow across some communities of Southern California, we're going to pinpoint that for you coming up in just a second. This evening, it's warm out there, taking an evening stroll. We've got temperatures in the 80s across the Inland Empire, high 80s in San Bernardino and Moreno Valley, 103 degrees in the Coachella Valley this evening. Meanwhile, closer to the water, temperatures hovering in the 60s and 70s. I want to show you this live look outside over Malibu as the sun is setting. We've got some high clouds in the mix. Overall, it was a nice day, but of course, you probably felt it, right? Temperatures warmer than what we felt this weekend. Now, tomorrow morning, a heat advisory kicks into gear across the Santa Clarita Valley, the San Fernando Valley, and the San Gabriel Valley, up across our local mountains as well. That's going to be with us through Thursday. So temperatures between 95 and 105 degrees in the afternoon as we move through the next few days. So that advisory could even potentially be extended as we go through Friday. We'll start to feel some changes by the weekend, but really we're still going to be on the warmer side. Tomorrow, we've got low 80s across the coastline, low 90s for Los Angeles and Orange County. Meanwhile, triple digits for our hottest valley locations. We'll talk a little bit more about what to expect heat-wise for the rest of the week, and of course the all-important weekend. Your forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Juan, back to you.
All right, sounds good, Alex. Thanks. Lakers Governor Jeannie Buss now reportedly contesting her siblings' vote to sell the family's remaining share of the team. According to ESPN, in an earlier statement today, the siblings said they believed they had the right to sell their remaining 17.8% share to Josh Kushner and Bob Iger based on a provision that had been included in the 2025 sale to Mark Walter. Jeannie Buss was to remain the team's controlling owner through 2030, according to the agreement she made with Walter. But if the sale of the family's stake goes through, she'd be out. Up next, still no word tonight on an owner for a runaway pig caught on camera going hog wild in West Hollywood. We'll show you that. Plus, tensions remain high in the Middle East tonight as Iran places a bounty on U.S. soldiers in the region. And Mike, back on the desk with an update on a brush fire burning in the Whittier Narrows area.
I'm Sheba Tork. Tomorrow on CBSLA on KCAL 9, we're seeing a historic increase in debt among younger Americans. And now they're looking for help to get their credit back on track. Consumer investigator Christine Lazar will have some tips. That's tomorrow morning at 8 on CBSLA on KCAL 9, where we'll see you each weekday from 5 until 11 a.m.
All right, time now to next weather. Hey, it's only Monday, and Alex was already talking about the weekend, so I'm all in for that.
Already looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah.
I know this last weekend was so nice.
Yeah,
right?
so
Especially
nice.
Saturday, we got a little bit of relief from the extreme heat, and now temperatures ramping back up. I'm sure you felt it yesterday and, of course, today, and that heat is going to continue to build as we move into the middle of this week. So that really tops our weather headlines this evening will be the heat, especially across our valley communities up in the mountains, the desert communities as well. Now at the coastline, of course, a completely different story as we will see some patchy low clouds in the morning and temperatures will be quite comfortable in the afternoon. We're talking 70s and 80s, so still warm, just not as hot as what we'll feel inland. Now the peak is expected to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but it's still going to be quite toasty as we go toward Friday. Now we are also introducing the chance of monsoon storms up across our mountain and desert communities, especially as we go into Friday. Of course, we'll talk about that coming up in a second. Let's go outside this evening, and we are feeling temperatures pretty comfortable out there. 71 degrees is what we are reporting across downtown Los Angeles, and compared to this time yesterday, temperatures are up. So that trend is going to continue as we go toward the middle of this week. Now, what I want to bring in first, our heat advisory that kicks into gear at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So areas like the Santa Clarita Valley, if you live in Saugus, if you live in Canyon Country, San Fernando Valley, Woodland Hills, Reseda, Studio City, and the San Gabriel Valley, as well as our mountain communities, as we are talking about temperatures hovering between 95 to as hot as 105 degrees as we move into the middle of the week. Now, it's possible this heat advisory could be extended through Friday, and we could even add other areas like the LA basin, as temperatures will still be in the 90s across downtown Los Angeles as we move into the next few days. Now, let's talk about highs specifically tomorrow where you live. So pick where you're closest to, right? Long Beach will have temperatures in the high 80s tomorrow. We'll feel low 90s across downtown LA, 80 degrees in Manhattan Beach, and high 90s to triple digits across areas like Woodland Hills. Meanwhile, in Orange County, we've got a mixture of 70s and 80s by the afternoon, 84 degrees in Santa Ana, so warm across Orange County. And then we're really starting to feel that heat build in the Inland Empire with temperatures hovering into triple-digit territory. So across the valleys, of course, that is where we will feel the brunt of this heat. Woodland Hills as hot as 102 tomorrow, so high 90s to triple digits, and then temperatures will ramp up even further by Wednesday as we're forecasting 105 degrees as we move into the middle of the week. High pressure is building westward. That is responsible for the heat that is ramping up. We've got low pressure just off the coastline, and what's going to happen as we head toward the end of the week is this high is going to position right over the Four Corners region. That is going to allow for the transport of some monsoon moisture into Southern California. That is going to bring us a slight chance of afternoon showers, possibly a thunderstorm across the mountains as we go into the end of the week. The highest chance will be on Friday. LA Orange County hovering in the low 90s over the next few days. We'll drop it down to the high 80s by the weekend, but again, still quite toasty out there. Valleys feeling temperatures in triple-digit territory with heat ramping up through the middle of the week. High 90s Sunday and as we go into Monday. Meanwhile, across the Inland Empire, again, triple digits for hottest locations with overnight lows in the 70s, so we're quite warm in the overnight hours as well. Desert communities hanging on to triple digits. We've got 80s up in the mountains and 80s at the coastline. Juan, back to you.
All right, Alex, thanks. Up next, 2 California boys, a 10-year-old rescue survivor and a 16-year-old savior welcomed to the White House. Plus, 2 fraternity houses at Penn State being accused of operating a major drug operation. A father and 13 students at Penn State University charged after an investigation into 2 fraternities accused of drug trafficking. CBSLA's Michael George shows us the operation.
Investigators say all but one of the 14 charged were Penn State students at the time of the alleged criminal conduct. Pennsylvania's Attorney General Dave Sunday says the drug operation was run inside 2 fraternity houses in 2023 and 2024.
Cocaine was primarily packaged at the fraternity houses, and in fact, we found a pattern of events that showed cutting and bagging cocaine was, for some pledges, an indoctrination into the Delta Upsilon and Sigma Chi fraternities.
Authorities say the 2 main dealers were senior members of the fraternities.
Agostino Abatiello was at the very top of the chain. Thomas Robinson was a rung below that on the ladder.
According to the criminal complaint, the drugs were sold at parties and other college social events. One defendant is accused of buying more than 5 pounds of cocaine in a 9-month period. 6 defendants are facing felony charges. 8 others are charged with misdemeanors. Penn State says it's placing Delta Upsilon on interim suspension pending an investigation. It says Sigma Chi isn't recognized by the university.
The packaging happened at off-campus fraternity houses.
And there was one non-student charged, Paul Robinson, the father of one of the suspects. Authorities say he concealed evidence, including a safe containing drugs and cash. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
It's been nearly 6 months since the war with Iran began. CBSLA's Jesse Mitchell tells us tensions have heightened over the past few days as Iran announced a bounty for killing or capturing U.S. soldiers.
Monday marked the end of the 60-day memorandum of understanding signed between the U.S. and Iran in an attempt to bring their conflict to an end. With the Strait of Hormuz still gridlocked, President Trump turned his attention to Oman, lashing out at the U.S. ally for its ongoing talks with Iran about the future management of the strait. President Trump told Fox News, if Oman gets in the way, we'll bomb the expletive out of them.
Would you say you're out of patience with Oman?
No, I don't think they behave very well, but we'd handle them very easily, just like we do others.
That comes as President Trump announced he's ordering the Pentagon to scale back joint U.S. exercises with South Korea, a longtime U.S. ally. The president says he's disappointed South Korea was unwilling to assist the U.S. in the war with Iran.
And I said, wait a minute, we have 39,000 soldiers over there guarding you from Kim Jong-un, your next-door neighbor, and you're not going to help us on a very easy military operation in Iran? That's strange. No, we'd rather not get involved. I say, well, why are we involved in helping you?
The president also lauded his relationship with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un has always treated me with great respect.
Donald Trump has wanted to meet with Kim Jong-un ever since he came back in this second term. He's put out several feelers already, asking for the resumption of negotiations.
President Trump told reporters he's recently been in touch with the North Korean leader, but provided no details. Jesse Mitchell, CBS News, New York.
President Trump welcomed two special guests to the White House today, a 10-year-old rescued from a rip current in Santa Cruz and the 16-year-old lifeguard who saved him. Lifeguard Ryder Williams and the boy saved Nathaniel Ray were recognized in an Oval Office visit with the president. Williams' rescue went viral last month as he held on to the boy and worked to bring him to shore despite powerful waves crashing around them.
In those dangerous moments that we have, we always try to fall back on our training. We are trained so well by many to handle that situation as best we can. So I really am just thinking about how to get the boy out of the water as fast as I can. And for shaping my future, I want to be a firefighter in the future.
Nathaniel's father, who also attended the meeting, said he's grateful he'll be able to celebrate Nathaniel's 11th birthday tomorrow. Up next, the honors don't stop there. Our very own Susie Suh recognized over the weekend. Plus, the noticeable change at Newport Mesa Unified's first day of school. And Mike on the desk with opening statements in the trial of a man accused of killing an LA County deputy. The start of the school year looked a little different at Newport Mesa Unified after the school board banned e-bikes for kindergartners all the way up through 8th graders. Parents and students told CBSLA's Michelle Geely they definitely noticed the change.
It's a very different start to the new year at Newport Beach's Ensign Intermediate School.
Do you normally ride an e-bike?
Yeah.
Okay.
Since Newport Mesa Unified trustees voted to ban e-bikes from campus for kindergarten through 8th graders, students made their way to class on the first day of the 26-27 school year on bicycles, skateboards, and many walked with friends.
They kind of just aren't riding as much as they would normally.
When e-bikes were allowed, the end of the day at Ensign used to look like this. Drew Lorenzen lives across the street.
Coming out of here, it's like kicking a hornet's nest. They go everywhere, and then coming up the streets, going down Clay Street, they don't stop.
Monday's update from the crossing guard.
Night and day. Night and day.
Elisa Young mans the intersection at the north end of campus.
It's just incredible. Every year it seemed to increase with the amount of kids that would get new e-bikes, and they'd come out looking like stampede.
Oh, it was drastic. It was drastic change and very stressful.
The morning was tough for this Costa Mesa mom because her son couldn't ride his e-bike, and she said she had to drop him off at school.
Going forward, I'm just going to be late to work because I don't have any other way to get him to school. And as you can see, there's so much traffic.
A crossing guard told these two students on an e-bike who were unaware of the new rule that they needed to check in at the office. This dad dropped his daughter off on his e-bike. she wants one.
And I think the decision to ban it definitely helped allow us to push back getting one for her. She has a pedal bike, and I think that's a great concept.
Newport Mesa Unified is the first district in the state to prohibit e-bikes except on high school campuses. With an increase in the number of accidents and injuries, school board members say student safety is their #1 priority. In Newport Beach, Michelle Geely, CBSLA.
Students in Pasadena went back to school today as well. Pasadena Unified held a welcome back event at Blair High School this morning, highlighting the year's theme, The Power of Us, Forward Together. And at John Muir High School, the reception line outside the main office was lined by not only school staff, but by police and firefighters as well. Many Muir High School students were displaced by the Eaton fire, and the staff wants students to know that the entire community supports them.
We do this normally every day of the school year where we give our kids fist bumps at the beginning of the day and welcome them. But on the first day of school, the whole community comes out and does it, which is just shows the love that our community has for our students and our community.
The LA Rams are also there to greet the students, including mascot Rampage and members of the cheerleading squad. The LA County Fire Department released its report on the Eaton fire this month, finding that electrical arcs from an old power line ignited the inferno. SoCal Edison has taken responsibility for the fire and has a compensation fund for victims. CBSLA's Rita Nakano shows us what they're doing now to prevent future disasters.
As the Altadena community rebuilds, Southern California Edison is asking people to hear them out.
We recognize that the people that were affected by the fire have certain feelings about Southern California Edison. All we can do is ask them to at least submit a claim.
Last July, the power utility launched the Wildfire Recovery Compensation Program. It says it was created by a third-party expert for Eaton fire victims to get quicker payments in exchange for forgoing a potential lawsuit. To date, Edison has received more than 4,200 claims from 1,300 people.
That's resulted in more than $800 million of offers, which has resulted in more than $400 million in payments.
But people who want to take part will need to submit their claims soon because the program ends November 30th. The utility says it's also hardened the power grid by replacing 7,200 miles of traditional conductors with plastic-covered ones.
What it prevents is things coming across our line, contacting the line, and actually producing a spark.
Which is what the LA County Fire Department concluded happened on January 7th, 2025. Edison has also installed additional sensors, helped fund firefighting aircraft, and deployed drones and AI to combat fires. In the last few years, they've gone from just a few hundred to now 2,000 of these weather stations all across our region.
That give us an idea of wind conditions across our high fire risk areas so that we can respond accordingly. Including how early the utility can notify customers about public safety power shutoffs, where it preemptively turns off power during dangerous weather events. A necessary inconvenience it hopes to help the community overcome through its partnership with 211, community crew vehicles, and rebate programs.
They will customize a solution to help provide that customer with a backup battery. There's generator rebates available for those eligible customers who do live in that high fire risk area.
The goal, heightened awareness for a safer future.
I think it's really important for our customers and communities to be prepared.
In Irwindale, I'm Rita Nakano, CBSLA.
The Orange County Soccer Club honored our very own Susie Suh over the weekend. Susie presented the ceremonial ball before the team's match against Louisville City Football Club in Irvine Saturday night. It was all part of a celebration of Asian American Pacific Islander culture on AAPI Heritage Night. The evening was very special for Susie as she grew up in Orange County. Up next, facing heavy scrutiny, new at 8, CBS California investigates the background of a new hire at the U.S. Attorney's Office in L.A. Plus, the hip-hop auction offering fans a chance to own music history. That's in tonight's Eye on Entertainment. Now at 8, nearly 30 years after Tupac Shakur was shot to death in Las Vegas, the man accused of ordering the hit is now on trial. 63-year-old Dwayne Davis faces murder charges for the 1996 shooting on the Strip.
Dwayne Davis did not pull the trigger. But what he did do was plan the retaliation for the beating of his nephew.
The state cannot prove to you beyond reasonable doubt the claim that he had anything to do with a first-degree murder with use of deadly weapons.
The first witness today, a former Las Vegas Metro police officer and a witness to the shooting. No one was charged in Tupac's death until Davis was indicted in 2023. If convicted, he faces life in prison.
Ion Entertainment is sponsored by Agua Caliente Casinos, your desert escape in Greater Palm Springs.
An auction giving rap fans a chance to wear music history and feline fun taking over theaters nationwide. CBSLA's Gwen Baumgartner takes a look in tonight's Ion Entertainment.
It may not be breaking any box office records, but for cat lovers, it's the perfect summer movie experience. This is a look at Cat Video Fest 2026. The annual video compilation includes lots of feline footage curated for the big screen.
It's a series of videos that feature cats in humorous situations. It's just nonstop laughter, and for those of us who are devoted to cats, it's just a really fun way to spend an evening. And of course, usually your cat-minded friends join you.
Cat Video Fest 2026 is playing at select theaters. Part of the ticket proceeds go toward local animal shelters in regions where it's screened. Singer-songwriter Sheryl Crow is gearing up to release her 12th studio album. This is a first look at the cover for Pick You Up, which will include 7 tracks. Her first single is called Freedom Bus and is available now. The full album will be released in October. Eminem is giving fans a chance to bid on his sneaker collection while supporting charity. The rapper is putting up more than 100 pairs of sneakers from his personal collection. Each are autographed by the Grammy winner himself. Some include a piece of history.
This is the Air Jordan 3 Slim Shady model, which was designed specifically for Eminem to be used during his halftime performance at Super Bowl 56.
Proceeds go towards Eminem's charity Marshall Mathers Foundation, which supports Detroit's at-risk youth. The auction kicks off next week. That's your Ion Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, now this, raised by a single mom in Echo Park, John Paul DeJoria has lived an incredible life, even living in his car at one point before co-founding billion-dollar companies like John Paul Mitchell Systems and Patron Tequila. He's sharing lessons from his journey with CBSLA's Pat Harvey.
This is your Bible right here?
This is my Bible here, and I wrote this book. It took me 2.5 years with 2 of the greatest writers that were given to me ever, but it's my autobiography, but they showed me how to put the words together. But to get it simplified from a book this big to this big, and in simple language that everyone can know how to do it, especially how to get money from a company that doesn't pay their bills in 45 days immediately, and little lessons on how to be kind, and by kindness, how things happen. That's why I wrote the book. It's kind of one of my things to pass out to millions of people, because you can't tell it all in an hour or two. But we condense it on how to have a happier life, how to start a lot of businesses and become very successful. And that's what I did, is for people to be successful in their personal lives. And I say to everybody, let your children read it. Please let your children read it. Anyone that has no hope, let them read it. We started with absolutely nothing. I left everything I was doing and lived in my car for a bit until I was able to manage.
Okay, just in terms of business, that acumen, and to be down like you were, to still, I'm going to start this hair care product. I'm going to go into that industry. It's performed wonderfully well.
But not in the first 2 years.
I'm sure it was difficult, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what made you persevere? I mean, what, besides Mama?
Yeah, so it was like when I sold encyclopedias, no leads, knocking door to door. We went to beauty salon to beauty salon to beauty salon to sell our product.
You know, this is what we call the ground game,
yes,
like in politics, right? The grassroots, knocking
correct.
Door to door.
That is correct.
Learn so much from that.
Yeah.
You can catch Pat's entire interview on CBSLA's YouTube page or listen on Spotify. Up next, in pursuit of a real porker in West Hollywood, the stray weekend swine still awaiting its owner. There he goes, Alex.
Meteorologist Alex Vision. Hey, we started to feel those warmer temperatures today. The heat is going to build. Tomorrow we are talking 90s in areas like Anaheim, as hot as 100 degrees in Riverside, and triple digits continue for much of this week. Your forecast is coming up.
Ion Entertainment is sponsored by Agua Caliente Casinos, your desert escape in Greater Palm Springs.
New at 8, a CBS California investigation raising questions about a new hire at the top federal prosecutor's office here in Los Angeles. Under scrutiny tonight, the new law enforcement liaison for the U.S. Attorney's Office. He's a former chief of staff at the California State Capitol with 3 DUI convictions, multiple probation violations, and a pending battery charge. Investigative correspondent Julie Watts broke this story with CBS News Justice reporter Sarah Lynch.
Sean Lewis spent years working here in California's state capitol as chief of staff for then Assemblymember Bill Asaley. Asaley is now the Trump administration's top federal prosecutor in Los Angeles, and Lewis is his new local liaison to law enforcement. Even though court records reveal Lewis has a long criminal history of his own. Lewis has been convicted of drunk driving 3 times in 3 different California counties. After his first conviction, a judge revoked his probation and issued a bench warrant when Lewis failed to enroll in a court-ordered DUI program. He was still on probation when he was arrested again, this time in Sacramento, convicted of a second DUI less than a year after his first. On his third conviction, his blood alcohol level was nearly twice the legal limit. He was sentenced to 120 days in jail and had to install a device that keeps his car from starting if it detects alcohol. Records revealed he was supposed to wear a Scram ankle monitor that detects alcohol because he was prohibited from drinking on probation. But his attorney argued he couldn't keep his job here at the state capitol with an ankle bracelet, so the judge gave him a pass. Lewis was still on probation with the no alcohol condition when Sacramento police arrested him in May for battery and public intoxication, according to the arrest report. He's accused of repeatedly punching a former Capitol intern in the head and throwing his phone on a roof so he couldn't call 911. So how did Lewis get hired at the U.S. Department of Justice? Well, federal hiring guidelines flag probation and certainly violating it as potentially disqualifying. Lewis was on probation when he applied, when he was hired, and he was arrested accused of violating that probation before he started the job. The U.S. Attorney's Office tells us it doesn't comment on personnel matters. The DOJ says that all employees go through a thorough background check. And Lewis's attorney tells us he's innocent and he looks forward to the opportunity to clear his name in court. Now, after we started asking questions, the Yolo County DA moved to revoke Lewis's probation for his third DUI. For CBS California Investigates, I'm Julie Watts.
I'm meteorologist Alex Biston. Hey, we started to feel those warmer temperatures today, and boy, it's going to get even hotter here across Southern California. It really depends on where you are, though. If you're at the coastline, we'll see the patchy low clouds in the morning, and by the afternoon, temperatures generally in the 70s and 80s. Meanwhile, across our inland communities, valleys, deserts up in the mountains, we're talking 90s and even triple-digit readings with the peak of this heat expected through the middle of the week, but it's still going to be quite toasty as we go toward this upcoming weekend. Inland Empire, triple-digit readings, not just tomorrow, but into Wednesday, and even hotter by Thursday with 103 degrees is the afternoon forecast. Los Angeles, Orange County, we will hover in the high 80s to even low 90s as we head toward the middle of this week. In fact, we have a heat advisory going into effect as we go into beginning tomorrow. It's going to be with us through Thursday. I want to show you what's happening here in the atmosphere. We've got a ridge of high pressure, and this high, here it is, I'm going to bring it in here, is currently over just to the east of us in this ridge. This high again is going to build to the west over Southern California, and that is going to bring us some warmer days. As it settles over the Four Corners region, as we move into the second half of this week, we will see a transport of monsoon moisture into Southern California. So we do have a chance of afternoon storms across our mountain communities. Highest chance will be as we move into Friday. Of course, we'll watch that, but really for the immediate future, what you need to know is it's going to be warm. We're talking temperatures above average. We've got low 90s in the mix as we go toward the middle of the week. By this weekend, temperatures dropping down to the high 80s. We're still above average. Hottest valley locations, we will feel 105 on Wednesday. Temperatures will hover in triple digits as we go into the first half of this weekend. And then across the Inland Empire, it's still going to be toasty really for the next 7 days. We're talking triple digit readings. Across the coastline, a completely different story. We've got patchy low clouds in the morning, temperatures by the afternoon in the 80s. Back to you.
Alex, thank you. Bringing hope and encouragement at a NICU family's most challenging times. The youth-led nonprofit reminding parents that they are not alone. Then coming up at 9, new video of a rescue off Long Beach. A jet skier who disappeared into the dark is found alive and 12 hours later. Flash floods and mudslides in Hawaii. New reporting from the Big Island in the aftermath of Hurricane Lala. That more tonight at 9. CBSLA had the chance to sit down and listen to those that have been personally affected by the warehouse fire in Boyle Heights.
They're really upset about what has happened to their neighborhood.
We need to get this rotting food out of our communities. This is a crisis, SOS.
We want to say thank you to that community and the community of East Los Angeles for coming out, sharing your stories with us, and trusting us with them. Let's find solutions together because CBSLA cares. A week after the devastating earthquake in Colombia, a North Hollywood restaurant is stepping up to donate funds to disaster relief. La Maria restaurant has been serving customers for more than 23 years. They plan to donate 100% of today's net sales to organizations working on the ground in Colombia. The restaurant was packed with customers and online orders.
I feel like our customers are truly our family, and last Monday definitely showed that. So many of our customers were just coming in, checking in on us. We had people outside since before we even opened, which was amazing to see. We love seeing so many people supporting.
The owners went on to say nobody in their family or their staff's families were impacted by the earthquake. A simple handmade card may seem small, but for families with babies in the neonatal intensive care unit, it can mean the world. CBSLA's Uzdelia Caballero shows us how a Palos Verdes high school student is turning a deeply personal experience into a nationwide effort of comfort.
Hamburger style and then hot dog.
Every card begins with a few simple words.
Hello, sunshine.
But behind each one is a story of resilience. When Ira Lee was 10 years old,
my younger sister Kate was born at 27 weeks old, and she spent around 3 months in the NICU.
Watching her family navigate the uncertainty and fear inspired her to make sure other families knew they weren't alone.
Be brave, little one.
In 2023, as a freshman at Palos Verdes High School, Lee started making handwritten crib cards from her bedroom, leading her to found Hearts for Tiny Lives, a youth-led nonprofit that helps NICU babies and their families.
We basically donate like super colorful and like cards that are filled with like stickers and encouraging messages that we can put on our incubators for the families to feel supported.
Ira and Katie's mom, Sarah Lee, says receiving a card like this from her friend when Katie was in the NICU made all the difference.
And when she actually shared that she wanted to do something like this, it was like, of course, yes, I would support you.
And so what began as one student's idea has become a growing movement.
Over the last 2 years, I was able to donate to more than 15 hospitals in 10 plus states. And we've impacted more than 1,000 families with just our crib cards, which was just something super cool to see.
The organization has also partnered with local Girl Scout troops, giving young volunteers the opportunity to brighten the lives of families they may never meet.
My sister was able to overcome that NICU journey, and me and her being in this space together, making these cards together, I think was something that was so meaningful to me. Very much a full circle moment.
For Ira, every volunteer, every drawing, and every handwritten message serves the same purpose: to remind families that hope can arrive in the smallest gestures.
Something so small could impact and influence people so much in a really good way. So I'm very proud of her.
In Rancho Palos Verdes,
every day counts.
Uzdelia Caballero, CBSLA.
A rare set of twins conquering the odds. Fiona and Phoebe are mono twins, which happen in about 1% of twin pregnancies. That means they shared an amniotic sac and placenta along with serious health risks, and things got really critical. Phoebe transfused blood from Fiona, whose heart enlarged. Doctors removed them at 30 weeks.
I just did what I had to do, and it was always just, I will worry when it's time to worry.
It's exponentially harder having twins.
Mm-hmm. The babies went straight to the NICU until they were strong enough to go home. There they are. They are now a year old. A runaway pig in West Hollywood over the weekend still hasn't been claimed. It was captured and taken to the West LA animal shelter.
Hey, there's a pig in West Hollywood. We gotta catch the pig. Hey, come back, pig.
You're hearing Jamal Harrison there. He couldn't believe his eyes when he spotted the loose pig on his e-bike on Saturday. He followed the pig as it darted in and out of traffic, nearly getting hit by a car. The pig ran into alleys where it was too fast for anyone to catch it. Harrison gave up, posted videos on TikTok where people went to work trying to find its owner.
All the comments are going nuts. Did you
did you catch the pig? Did you save the pig? I keep telling them, I can't catch the pig. I'm on a bike. You know, I couldn't properly pick the pig up on the bike or get off the bike and run and catch him. No one could catch me. This was the fastest pig we've ever seen.
Well, if no one claims the pig by Thursday, it will be moved to another facility that's better equipped to handle pigs. I want to thank you for watching CBSLA at 8. CBSLA at 9 starts right now.